Are you tired of competing on price with kids in the commission market, being constantly undercut and ending up with no work at all? Do you try to reach out to people who might be looking for your work but get no return? If you're an anime style artist taking commission like me, you've probably noticed that applying to freelance jobs and letting companies know your commissions are open can make little to no difference for your business. And my theory is that we often overestimate how many things we can do as artists and how much money the client has. I can give you a practical example. There was this time Iron Mouse was looking for artists, and an army of artists flew at full speed to leave their links to their portfolios in the replies, and it was later revealed she was looking for a 3D VTuber model for Kaisenat, and a lot of people fell flat on their faces, myself included. And it's not just you, you'd be surprised at how many random people go up to other people's DMs asking for them to commission. Have you ever thought that the answer might be lying on the other side of the spectrum? What if I told you that the secret lies in the clients you already conquered? Hi guys, I'm Sayuui, a full-time anime artist. Recently, I read a book called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. It teaches you how to make people desire your services so much that they line up for you, and that's kind of everything I always wanted, and I know a lot of you guys want that too. Today, I'll share how the top artists in our industry stay oversubscribed and translate the hints I found in this book to our artist context. So stay until the end because I promise to give you better alternatives to market your art and stop competing on price and not have to chase opportunities ever again. They will chase you. And yeah, I know today's video is a bit long, but I believe no knowledge is built quickly. This is the kind of video you might want to go back to from time to time and take notes on some of the ideas. So what does being oversubscribed mean? So Priestley starts the book by stating the concept of being oversubscribed is very simple. It's being more requested than you can offer, and that's grounded and makes it easy to understand that it's an achievable standard. One of his first examples is when Gary Vaynerchuk, a well-renowned entrepreneur, auctions a 1-hour consultation to a room with 400 people. When the bid starts passing £3,000, only 2 people stay bidding. Notice how Gary only needs 2 people to perceive his value. It's important to remember he was not trying to please everyone. If he wanted to sell his service to the whole audience, he would have only been able to sell his consultation for £250 an hour. If you're auctioning an item you only have 1 of and 2 people want to buy it, you're oversubscribed. That's it. You don't need to be massive, you don't need everyone, you just need 2 people who are loyal to you. He highlights that only businesses that are oversubscribed make a profit, and it requires nothing more than a situation where some people who want your services have to miss out. The only way you can stop competing against others is to create your own market. In other words, having a list of people interested only in what you have to offer. Why do markets go up? Then, Priestley mentions he was in the home office of one of Australia's most successful stock market traders, and he asked him the question, why do markets go up? Beats me, it's a good economy that does that, right? Because if people can't afford things, they won't try to. But that's actually not the truth. A market goes up because there are more buyers than sellers. And that's it. It's simply supply and demand, and that is the tension that creates opportunity for profit. It's easy to conclude that your income is attached to how good the economy is doing, especially if you're not creating your own market. When you, the only supplier and seller of your work, talks to an audience of buyers, there is no imbalance or market tension. With that being said, you're allowed to speak to your audience and set your commission prices on your own terms. If there are people interested, you can set up your prices according to your demand. So if you're able to make the number of people interested in your work grow, your prices should be able to keep pace. For that reason, you have to limit your demand, let some people miss out, and absolutely not offer anything besides the best you can offer. And whenever you're busy, ensure that people following you absolutely know you're busy. Remember, you're the only one who wants to raise your prices. The market is heartless. If you let your customers know you'll sell for the cheapest you can, but your company might lose money and you might go out of business, they will never think twice about it, even if you go bankrupt. So the solution to becoming oversubscribed is creating your own market. Even in markets with fierce competition, you can create your own market and thrive. That's a list of people who are interested in your work and your work only. The only ways I can think of are gathering an email list, maybe a Discord role for commission updates, VGen followers, and social media followers. But these are arbitrary. You can have 4K of them and no one interested in commission, so I think the first 2 options are the most attractive ones. If that's the case, you have to set up a limit to your demand, and some people will miss out. So the first thing is to ask yourself, how many people can I delight in a year? Then set up a yearly target for your earnings and break it down into smaller parts so you know how much you have to charge weekly and daily to reach these goals. So I concluded that in the long term, I have to stop offering extremely cheap commissions like the Surprise Me one. Because if I have a list of interested people but they can easily afford a cheap commission that doesn't offer my brand experience, I'll just burn that interest list very quickly. They'll just get what they want for cheap and not come back ever again, and that's not what business should be about. Create your own market. First, what market do you want to serve? You must find your unique value that people are willing to pay for. Finding a market that values you a lot, can pay you, and you want to serve. You probably know that the digital art market is owned by very few individuals in the long tail. Most people can't make a living and less than 1% take most of the jobs. There's a huge offer for artists everywhere, so there's no reason why someone would hire someone expensive at the top. Yet they do. They are gifted, but their income has less to do with their drawing skills and more with the ability to bring trust and hype to a project and make more people buy, read a novel, or play a game they haven't worked on because these people have publicity. They're solving bigger problems than anyone else, so they look more attractive to those hiring. People who are hiring know these artists at the top have the power to engage people, and that's what makes them so successful. Your marketing team is your clients. So the first thing you want to do to achieve this is to stop investing so much time in marketing and focus on quality and customer service instead. If your commissions are open, you have a way to receive the money, and the ordering process is obvious, your marketing team is not yourself, it's your client. The ultimate goal of your business is to delight your customers so much that they will have to talk about you. And for us who are selling luxury, nothing better than a luxurious example. The offer mentions why so many people buy a Rolex watch. It's a pricey way to tell the time, and they're heavier and more uncomfortable than usual watches. So why do people buy them? People buy things to save time, save money, and avoid bad emotions and replace them with good ones. Rolex watches are known for becoming pricier over time. If you hire someone who's wearing one, you get an instant sense of security from them. And some people buy one to feel good about themselves. So the first rule to staying oversubscribed is determining how many clients you can make absolutely delighted in a year. Not satisfied, not okay, delighted. To the point of talking about you to everyone they know. Imagine you can save your clients money by being clearly the most reliable option out there, save their time by putting up samples that match what they're looking for, and being the one who spares the headaches by having public reviews so they can instantly trust you. In fact, you want to turn all the parts of your business into remarkably delightful and lean into the discomfort of not having everything look perfect. If you don't have a way for people to see your reviews, you'll always compete with other artists on price. So if you don't have any, find a way to get reviews and referrals. Try to encourage them with incentives. There's no way you can surprise your client if you keep telling them everything you're going to do. So whenever you make something, only tell your client around 70% of what you're going to do in their illustration. If there's an extra you can sneak in, shut up about it and let the surprise speak for itself in the end. Make your clients feel special. Recently, I learned how to email prospects in the most professional way possible, asking if they want my services. And I put it in a very practical way. You have the problem, I sell the solution, but art doesn't work like that. There was a time I was made a complete fool of. I messaged the studio I really like for a job, mentioning I was one of the first people to buy a game of theirs, and well, it worked. They liked my work and they had some freelance for me, but when you mention your passion, people like to take advantage of you. Oh, so you love what we do? I bet you would like to be underpaid too, huh? And that's how I made a $500 illustration for only $100. But did they at least come back? Yeah, but with more $100 for another $500 illustration. So yeah, I was fooled, so you don't have to. One of the reasons why emailing clients doesn't work to sell art is because people don't want to buy what you have to offer. They want to buy what everyone else wants. Fucking labubus, man. And this is how famous artists keep being oversubscribed. It's a vicious cycle of being offered more work just because they're famous. But Sayuui, I'm not famous and desired. I got it. I got you there. The solution for you is to make your clients look like they're aspirational. Try to think of the things that the clients commissioned you for. Maybe some of you ordered you for an album cover, some other ordered for a game. Showcase what these people are doing with your art and make them look aspirational too. I made a special portfolio on my website that's called the quote-unquote product portfolio. There, I show the pieces I made and how the clients are using them. This not only helps convince the client you are used to making things look good when it turns into products, but it can also be turned into a way to show what your clients are doing with your art and make them feel special by taking the forefront. If you like this video so far, don't forget to leave a like so I'll know I'm doing a good job, and subscribe for more art business videos. If you keep improving your skills and showcasing your clients, there's a chance that over time, you'll get an aspirational client that everyone knows about. When that happens, keep the work you made for them at the forefront of everything. I personally think that pinning a commission you made for an aspirational client is way more powerful than pinning a price sheet on top of your profile, like on Twitter or something, because it helps generate more desire. Saying no is magnetic. Imagine you won the lottery today and you don't have to work anymore. What rules would you set up to make work continue fun for yourself? And what if I told you that some people become oversubscribed because they decide to dictate the rules themselves and not the other way around? If you're doing everything right and making time to study art, you're on top of your game. And if you're in that condition, you're probably allowed to say no to your clients. Think for a second, only the best businesses say no to their clients, and you should exercise that whenever you can. There's something sexy about not always being available, and knowing the soft spot between being open for business and not available all the time without losing business is a skill that comes with experience but really worth to tap into. At first, I was very averse to closing my commissions and make some clients miss out. I have almost 5 years as a full-time artist and I have never closed my commissions. I still stand by the idea that you should never completely close your commissions. One of these days, I got a bigger commission and decided to quote-unquote close my commissions and open a waitlist. And I got shocked at what started to happen. I think I eliminated people's hesitancy to order from me. They saw my work, they liked it, and decided it was worth waiting for. And when I opened them again, I felt more confident to charge what my work is worth, and I can charge them in my own terms. There's a point that PIXIV makes about this, and I never really thought about it, is that if you make a client miss out or wait, they most likely will talk about it with someone else and do the marketing job for you. So as long as you have a waitlist system that allows you to collect your clients' data when signing up, you should stop taking commissions for a while and open a waitlist. Stay firm and don't make any exceptions though, because some people might find out and assume you're lying every time you close the commissions. So in order for a business to stay oversubscribed, it has to base its clients' captures on campaigns. You're not looking for clients every single day. You gather enough potential clients, then start the relationship with them, so some of them become recurring clients. A campaign he mentions that caught my eye is the annual one, in which you make bingeable content that's valuable for social media. The magical formula is making your prospect watch at least 7 hours of your content, having at least 11 interactions such as social media posts, and being in 4 different places. So if they Google you, they'll be able to find you on other platforms. This is usually how long it takes for a person to make business decisions. He also mentions that telling your story and expressing a strong opinion on the world will help you stay oversubscribed. If you're an artist now, there might be a bigger purpose why you make art. There might be something in the world you want to change. And if you talk about a subject that's bigger than just selling commissions, people will pay attention to you. Nowadays, the way that platforms are designed, you're not supposed to voice your opinions or experiment with other art styles, and that makes artists look omitted, zombified, and scared of voicing their opinions because that might cost them followers. I just find that sad because I think art is supposed to be naturally deeply political. Nowadays, the only social media where it's acceptable to voice strong opinions is YouTube. Besides, it's probably the best platform you can create a relationship with your fans, since you can spend time with them through streams and videos, and when working on commissions, you'll stumble on a few problems your clients usually have, and if you can make a YouTube video to solve their problems, that will heavily favor you in becoming oversubscribed. I've seen a lot of people undercut others in this market lately, and it's been really exhausting, and that doesn't really work long term. If you have to maintain a family of 3, for example, being an artist is probably one of the worst ways to do it. There are so many ways you can put money in front of credibility and ruin the path for yourself to the point of being tainted and never being able to do it again. Unfortunately, if you want to find success in this medium, you need a little bit more of the luxury of idleness. If you're in a country like the Philippines, a simple commission can probably get you the groceries and the rent for a month. But do you know who else started in the Philippines? Rosary. Her career is definitely a case study and a very interesting one. She certainly could have sat down to pay bills with regular commissions and live off that comfortably, but that was not enough for her. She kept improving her skills to keep working for companies that paid better and allowed her to become one of the wealthiest artists in our field. Now everything that she touches sells. She dictates the rules, decides what job she takes, and she has moved somewhere else to live off conventions. She's one of the most prestigious, oversubscribed artists in our field today. At least for me, it's empowering to know that some of the few things that distance us from someone like Sayuui are the astonishing quality of her work and never settling for good enough, because these are achievable things. Don't ask for the sale, ask for the sign. In an ideal world, you just put a product out there and people just like it and buy it. But in real life, that's not how it works, especially for physical products. It takes a lot of time for someone to make a purchase decision. You must find out how long your audience takes and constantly ask them to signal if they want to make the purchase. Everyone likes saying that Twitter is extremely restrictive for artists and doesn't let people sell commissions there, and I think it's true, but what if instead of asking people to commission you, you ask them to comment this post if you want a commission in the future? Have you been asking for this kind of signal? A big part of sales is about giving people time to decide while keeping them hidden on the idea of selling something. That might be the reason why, for some people, posting the commissions they get help them get more commissions. It's enough time for someone to see, desire, and let the idea sink in. People who paid for your commissions have already given you a strong sign that they would pay for more stuff. If you're able to make an email list with these people, you might be able to make them offers from time to time. That way, you can ask people for better signs than social media, like replying to an email, filling out a form, or clicking a button. These are powerful signs of interest. There are 4 ways in which you can get oversubscribed, and you have to pick only one. Innovation. You're the only supplier in the market who's offering something in demand. Relationships. You build a strong relationship with your clients, therefore you own it, and if it's not from you, they don't want it. Convenience. It's easy to order from you. You're always in the right place at the right time, meeting your clients' unmet desires. That can be something like drawing things or situations that no one else wants to draw. Or price. You invest in assets that generate efficiency and create an imbalance by automating parts of your process, or creating a library with assets that only you can use and speed up your process. You can also become oversubscribed by testing and keeping an optimal price for you and your clients. But unfortunately, that may cause you to become wary quickly, as most clients don't want to spend much more than $100 on a commission. So I would rather stick to the idea of finding your true fans instead. Remember, you can't be innovative and also convenient, because innovation takes a while to roll out with consistency, and you can't be super cheap while competing on relationships because it's costly to build relationships. There's so much more in this book that I have no idea how to put in this video, so if you want to read it, this is the book. I wasn't able to make an Amazon associate link, so if you're interested in turning your art into a business, I'll recommend you my ebook, The Full-Time Artist Roadmap. The link is in the description, and if you end up reading oversubscribed and you have other ideas to discuss, I would love to know your ideas in the comments. But as you can see, the hints I presented in this video are not for everyone, because I know they're a bit advanced and specific. If you're having trouble selling commissions lately, here's a video with more general tips to help you out with that. And I hope to see you there.